Hello and welcome back to the next lesson in our A-level art course. Today we'll be looking at the different types of paintings. The definition of a word painting is the skill of using paint depicting a visual representation of something. There's going to be different types of paintings that you're going to come across in your course, and each portrays different ways to sort of look at thoughts and ideas. Now they're going to be analysed differently to one another, so throughout this video we're going to look at the different styles of painting which artists are going to be using in your course. Firstly, we're going to look at abstract paintings. And abstract paintings give out expressions to the complexities of the inner thought process. They create a profusion of colours and shapes of different forms and textures. So this then portrays an idea. So here we have a really famous painting by Dali, and you can pretty much see that this is all about how human thought may be. If that doesn't come to you firstly as the first thing which you think about when you see this painting, that's okay, because it's really easy to tell how a painting is abstract. Abstract being different, not normal at all. You can probably see from this painting. I mean, there's a lot of questions that may jump to your mind, like, what is that human face that is just melted on the ground up against that rock? Why are the clocks sort of melting? What's that platform on the left? There's going to be a lot of different things that may spring to your mind. And if you do think, find yourself asking too many questions, it's probably an abstract painting. So, you can draw your own conclusions from this. Like, I personally see this as a painting that's meant to depict the illusion of time, or at least what humans feel time to be, at least in the sort of inner thought process. And then you can take your own ideas from it. I mean, like we looked in our last video, the senses. Every sense you can gather and analyse this painting with is going to pick you up marks if you're making valuable sort of judgments on what you think it's going to be about. Next up is Expressionism. And this gives out the works of music, theatre and literature, and it adds feeling to them. It's an emotional response to what one feels through their senses, and then the different emotions reflect what the artists think. So here we have a really emotive and vibrant picture or painting of what the artists felt when they saw a swan in nature. So we can see how excited the sort of beauty of the swan may have got them, so much so that they want to draw it with beautiful golden feathers contrasting against this vibrant red and orange background as it skims through the water. Next up is tribal art, and this is an ancient form of painting. There's certain sort of different types of tribal art, but it's easy to pick out because normally you can pretty much tell that it's really basic in some instances, and it's used as a communication through visual representation. So what this means is, in ancient times, when language wasn't as sophisticated as it is now, people communicated through visual representation of things because everyone could see the same, but not everyone could verbalize in the same way. So now it's most often ceremonial religion and nature, so different tribes would paint things to each other, and then they would understand because nature was the thing that linked the two tribes together. So on the left we have a tribal painting which we can tell was a way to communicate through visual representation, and it may be a way of describing how a tribe's morale works. We see the tribe working together, hunting, each one standing on their hands or shoulders, as you can see to the left of that large animal in the centre, and tribesmen just holding up branches together as they're hunting animals. So it is something to describe how the morale of the tribe really is at. On the right we have an Aboriginal painting from Australia, and you can really see the influence of nature. We have the two glistening suns in the centre, outlined by this sort of slithering shape, which you can just take to your own idea and ask yourself what it is, and the two lizards on the outside. So there's really quite a few things you can draw from this, using your senses as the key pointers for this. Next up we're going to look at contemporary art, and this is otherwise known as modern art, and it pretty much reflects the ideologies of the artist. It's really influenced by philosophy and began in the 19th century and is now carrying through to the 21st. The artists would then experiment with new techniques and forms of textures to express even more emotion and thought, a lot like Expressionism. This began with a mix of sort of theatre and music and nature in order to create one piece of art which combines all of them. So here we have a painting of what seems to be normal civilians, commoners in a way, carrying an aircraft which is property of the government, and you can clearly see it's battered and destroyed, and it seems as if the weight of destruction is on their shoulders. They're carrying it through, unwillingly knowing about what's going on. And then we have this sort of cresting blue structure in the background and all these birds flying amongst them, and it's quite a beautiful artwork, I mean, next to this vivid yellow. And everyone can take what they think about it individually away from it, and as long as you're using your senses to evaluate it in the key terms, you should get your points. Okay, so this has been the end of the lesson. As always, thank you so much for watching, and next lesson we will be checking out artistic themes. Until then, I will see you next time.